What's up? What's up? What's up? Sorry, just read that Pac-12's getting sued. The Holiday Bowl. Boy, if it was possible for Mother Nature to actually rain shit on you, uh, I think that's kind of where we are. I think that's where we are with the pack. It's just a big shit show. Don't need those notes. I'm just going to make a little list here while I'm waiting. How do you spell trammel? I can't spell anything anyway. Ho ho hum hum. Hope y'all had a good day. Damn, I cannot wait. I got 2 days left and I'm on vacation, damn it. Vacation. I got a kid in the Navy. He's coming home for a week. That'll be nice. I mean, I don't feel too bad for him. You know, he's stationed in Hawaii. It could be worse. Of course, it's about to be. He's going to be deployed on a sub for about 6 months, at least. So it's kind of hard to make phone calls underwater. So we'll enjoy that time with the punk. Is there anything else I want to talk about besides these few items here? I don't think there's much of anything else. I need to read up. Y'all let me know if there's a BR7062 Trammel. Thank you. Appreciate that. Not that I needed to know how to spell it. You know, I can barely read. Romish Lance, are you seeing any smoke from Colorado yet? There wasn't going to be much announcement of any kind of smoke today. But, you know, just keep your eyes peeled on Twitter. Possibly, who's that head on a swivel guy again? Greg. Damn it, peek around the corner. Let's see if anyone has thrown up on the stage or shit themselves watching the show. Where's for the I-56? How close is the Pac-12 doomsday clock to midnight? It's about, I would say about 11:58. We're talking about Cuba. Blake Phillips. Hey, what's up, Blake? Blake Phillips. Okay. What about this for fun? Imagine Colorado, Arizona State leave. And then Pac-12 picks up San Diego State, SMU, and Gonzaga. That'd be a shocker, huh? Yeah, it would be a shocker. Yeah, I'm kind of I don't know. Don't hold your breath on the San Diego State thing, man. I don't know if that's going to happen. I know there's a lot of proponents. They got a lot of fans. They got a lot of people pushing for them, but I just don't know. I don't see it happening, Blake. I don't see a lot of G5 happening outside of Gonzaga, outside of UConn. But UConn may not even happen this year. That might be down the road. The Big East contract comes up in I think 2 years, so look for us to really get involved in some of that before that 2 year deadline. So next summer maybe we can start seeing some real activity on the basketball only front, Big East style. Mike Smith, what's up, dude? Colorado, Arizona, Gonzaga, and UConn. I think Gonzaga is this summer. UConn, like I said, that may be a next summer kind of move. Blake Phillips, I'm starting to feel it's not impossible that Utah gets left out of Big 12. Possibly. At least for the time being. I mean, I think once Washington and Oregon get their invites, and I think that's going to happen this summer. Might take till August, but I think it'll happen. Once that happens, I think they'll go. But man, 365 Sports, the guys were on fire today, man. They had some shit on there that made me feel really, really good about the Big 12 and its future. All right, well, let's start with Barry Trammell of the Oklahoman. I think they would have thought of a better name. The Oklahoma, it could be OK News. So, okay, Oklahoman. But hearing him talk about how he kind of came to put out there what he did, I think it was an article or something that he wrote in the Oklahoman about Colorado coming soon. Just how he came to that, you can tell the guy's just not full of shit. You know, he's not trying to get attention. He doesn't care about that. But just hearing him describe how he's never thought that was going to happen, and now he's like, it's pretty much inevitable. He's kind of on board now. And, you know, because he knows a lot of people in the Big 12, a lot of people with a lot of stroke, a lot of people with a lot of influence who are probably in on a lot of these negotiations, a lot of the talks with Colorado. So he's not just, you know, pissing in the wind here. He knows what he's talking about. So that made me feel all kinds of good. I'm like, wow, I could be right about something. Mike Smith, oh, I'm feeling super hot, sexy tonight, so watch out. Curtis D316, message retracted. Damn you. Did you say a naughty word in there or something? Blake Phillips, I'm hearing that Oregon State and Washington are still in the running for Big 12. Options are still on the table. Huh? We're going to find out really, really soon there, Blake. Curtis D316, I don't think San Diego State is going to make it in this round from the sounds of it. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of brings me to this infamous Karen lady from Endeavour. I wasn't sure if that was the same Endeavour that bought the UFC and WWE, but it is. This company is a freaking juggernaut, dude. They're a juggernaut. And, you know, what a perfect hire Brett Yarmark was. Just what a freaking masterstroke to bring this man in. He's got connections everywhere. He knows this Karen lady and several other people from Endeavour. Got them on board to help out with the TV deal. And just to hear her talk about that deal, that, you know, she used kind of broad terms, but yeah, they knew that in 2023, there's probably going to be an economic downturn. They kind of forecasted a lot of crap happening. That's why they worked so fast to get a deal done with ESPN and Fox. There's a reason they didn't want to go to market. It would have taken too long to go to market. it's things like that that make me feel really good about Brett Yormark and the people he's chosen to work with, which is Endeavour. And Endeavour works with the Big Ten as well. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Big 12 and the Big Ten work with Endeavour. Just saying, you got two future coast to coast conferences here working with that same media juggernaut of Endeavour. But she also answers some questions that I am. This is one of the reasons I really like 365 Sports, why they are one of the best. They asked about, is this thing really going to get cut down to just two power conferences and everyone else is just left out there holding their junk and, skipping Dixie? No. She basically, she's worked for Fox high up with Bob Thompson for years and is doing Endeavour now. And the way she put it is they like diversity, not how politicians talk about diversity, like they give a shit about diversity. I'm not getting into that right now. Maybe later. Maybe a different show. But they like people from different regions. They like different geography, different towns, all of this stuff. But basically, she put the kibosh on that no, there isn't going to be just two power conferences and everything is, that's not what's going to happen. But I have a feeling there's going to only be three. They didn't get into that, but there will be only three. The ACC is going to take a minute to get that worked out. And how do you work it out? You destroy it. You destroy it. The people in it don't want to be in it anymore. There's more money in other places. There's more security in other places. Because 2036, it's a long way off. It's 13 years. 13 years? 13 years. But it's basically a clock on a bomb that's going to explode in 13 years. That's why I always call it a controlled demolition. That's what they want to do. They don't want it just blowing up in their face like a freaking bouncing Betty in Vietnam. They want to be able to control this thing and explode it in a controlled explosive. They want that building to come down exactly where they want it, so all the rubble lands where it's supposed to land. That way you don't get no innocent little baby crushed. Let's see here. Blake Phillips. Greg Swain today said that Oregon State is ready to bolt for the Big 12. I like Greg Swain, but I think Oregon State has always been ready to go to the Big 12. They've been ready to go anywhere, any Power 5 of anything. They just, it's like, what's a good analogy for it? I don't know. Think of a movie with a volcano and someone trying to stay out of the lava. That's kind of where they are. But they haven't been offered. That's been the case. Yeah, that Endeavour lady was kick-ass. She is. She seems like a really kick-ass woman. Like, there's a few in the business sector that, old President Trump would call killers, and she seems to be one of them. Comes across as a nice, sweet lady, has kids, all that, talked about that. You're like, oh, you'd probably be a nice lady, a nice, neighbor or something like that. But that woman's got some knives. Yeah, I can imagine she'll cut your damn throat and make a good deal. But smile and be courteous while doing it. Blake Phillips, if you shake it more than once, you're playing with it. Well, that's just, that's just old school there, Blake. Mike Smith, shake and bake. Shake and bake, bacon beans. Let's see. Blake Phillips. Barry has been in the Big 12 circle since 1990. Pretty certain he knows. He didn't let on like he knew. He just heard enough to know that, this is, yeah, this is happening. I think that's kind of where he is. Like any good journalist or reporter, he's like, well, not for certain, but kind of is. West Virginia got 56. Nobody wants to watch Pac 12 football on Apple TV. No, they don't. They don't, and that's the big crook, or I don't know whatever word you want to use for that. That's the big burr in everyone's ass. That's the killer. When Barry Trammell talked about that, that ESPN is out, at least on any kind of tier one, anything significant. And if they're out on anything significant, there's a lot of schools that are kind of out on whatever deal that you got. No ESPN, no Fox, no Coach Prime, no Colorado. And people are starting to talk about that now that, there's been rumored innuendo that Coach Prime is like, nah, Apple ain't it. Just like I've been saying, Apple ain't it. He wants his players to play in front of the biggest audiences possible. That's why he wants to go to the Big 12. It's just like it's that simple. It's about recruiting. You got to get the players in. If he's going to turn that thing around, you got to have the players. Without them, you're kind of screwed. Without you could do a little something with a bunch of 1-star and no-star guys, but you really need the 4 and 5-star guys. Just kind of have to have them. And Coach Prime can get them in there. But he's got to be able to give them something. He can't just say, hey, come here and forget about ever being on linear TV. Forget about ESPN and Fox. No, we're doing Apple. And he knows how this thing works. Especially now, the new NIL, how this thing works. These players, 4 and 5-star recruits, they're going to have representation. People like Endeavour. All right, they're going to have representation. And if they have Endeavour knows Apple TV kind of sucks. They're going to steer kids away from those programs. I mean, they got to deal with the Big 10, the Big 12. That's where they're going to steer kids to. If there's something in the SEC, they'll probably, they don't think they'll have a problem steering a kid to an SEC school at all. But it's kind of nice having a little deal with a company that's going to have a lot of athletes from all the major sports and the minor sports too, Olympic sports. People always shit on these Olympic sports. Did you know that gymnast, track and field, these ladies are killing it in NIL? They're making the guys look bad. And I'm talking football, basketball, everything. Some of these ladies are raking in the dough. All right, because it's not just, let's get a group of people and have sponsorships and or memberships and funnel money from a collective into a couple of players. No. These ladies are getting hooked up with big time corporate sponsors. The Nikes, the Converse, Reebok, the sports drinks, Gatorade, Powerade, everything. These ladies are killing it. I mean, I just thought that was interesting. Because you always hear all these poor women, they just get the scraps. Well, they're kicking everyone's ass and money in college. I'm telling you right now. Not all of them, obviously, but the big time ones, the big athletes, the blue chippers. Yeah, they're getting bank. Arturo Balderas, what's up, dude? Totally off topic, but how about Shannon Sharpe leaving undisputed? Whoa, his last show will be after the NBA Finals ends. Thoughts? I have a weird thing with Shannon Sharpe because I like him. I think, I mean, just the personality, the voice, some of the things that he says, you know, whenever he said, like quotes from his grandma, that stuff I could relate to. So, and a lot of that I do like him. I think he does a really good job at his podcast, the Club Shay Shay. I think he's actually a really good interviewer. I was watching him and who was it? Steve Harvey, and that was an outstanding interview with Steve Harvey because I like Steve Harvey anyway. He's one of the funniest people on the planet, one of the best. But Shannon Sharpe was like, he was coming with it. He was rolling with some of the jokes, and one of the things that always, you're going to get me on as far as if I like you or not. Shannon Sharpe has a great laugh. He has a really good laugh. As you can tell, I laugh all the time on this shit. But I'm attracted to people with a really good laugh. He's got this big booming voice, which I'm fine with. My dad had a huge booming voice, usually with a lot of cuss words involved. He was a trucker, like my mother. But, so there's a lot of things I can relate to. There's some shit that he talks about that I'm looking at the TV, and I know this is a smart guy, a well-read guy, but it's like he only reads certain things that he wants to read. Like, the first time I heard this shit, it pissed me off. It's when the now late Jim Brown was reaching out and he's trying to help Colin Kaepernick get a job. But this is around the same time when Trump got elected. And so Trump was like, what do they call that? President-elect. He hadn't taken office yet. So it's like him and, I want to say it was Ray, linebacker, Ravens. Damn it. The only jersey I own, and I can't think of his last name. Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. Son of a bitch. Anyway, they go up and see Trump in Trump Tower and wanted to talk about, because Jim Brown has always been in the community, always not talking, not kneeling, not doing some other little symbolic bullshit, but actually involved in the community, trying to help people, young men get out of gangs, look for a better life. He's actually, acted for decades trying to make a difference. So, goes up to the Oval Office to speak to the future president about things that they could possibly help out his community from the federal level. It's a responsible thing to do. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so Kaepernick, of course, he loves to disrespect everybody. Everybody's beneath him. Everyone's dog shit. Even though Jim Brown has done more for the black community than Colin Kaepernick can ever dream of, it probably ever will do. But he took a giant shit all over Jim Brown, calling him whatever he wanted to call him because he went up to see Trump. What did Jim Brown say? Well, if it was Hillary, I would have went and seen her. But here's the thing: Hillary ain't going to have you come up there. She wasn't going to talk to Jim Brown. All right, this is a woman who, for the her and her stupid ass rapist husband, they learned at the feet of Senator Byrd. If you don't know who that is, you can Google him. I think it was Dennis Byrd, maybe. I don't know, but I know he's a senator named Byrd, also a former Klansman. So that's who they learned under. And of course, Bill Clinton was like, well, back in his day, you had to be a part of the Klan in order to get elected because it was in Arkansas. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that makes sense, but you don't have to be a recruiter for the Klan, which he was. That seems to be an extra step, sir. So no, she probably wasn't going to talk to Jim fucking Brown about anything. So anyway, I don't need to get all involved in that. Where Shannon Sharpe came in, he got in on that, and then he started shitting on Jim Brown, saying that, well, he sided against Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm like, do you know anything about Jim fucking Brown? He was a follower of Malcolm X, Nation of Islam. And he never left the Nation of Islam. So yeah, they're back then the young Malcolm X, leader, Nation of Islam, saw things differently than MLK. All right, they both wanted kind of the same things. That's where you got the X-Men from. Considering the thumbnail. You know, I mean, think about it. It's an interesting dynamic. You got Professor X, you know, MLK essentially, who wants peace between humans and mutants, peace between blacks and whites. And then you got on the other side, you got Magneto, who says, screw that, they had their time, we're taking over. And Malcolm X, he was a proponent of segregation. At least the Nation of Islam was back then. They wanted to be segregated away from white people. They thought they were better. For years, we got put down by these people, but we're actually better than them. So we need to have our own thing. He wasn't trying to conquer. He was just like, get us away from them, the white devils. So there's a little, there's a difference there. And I don't blame Jim Brown for feeling that way. I mean, when you're steadily under attack, anytime you say anything, you could be murdered for it back then. Yeah, I would kind of feel some kind of way. I really would. You got a gigantic terrorist organization and the KKK coming at you all the time. Yeah, I'd feel some kind of fucking way about it. And Shannon Sharpe just being disingenuous as shit talking about Jim Brown. That pissed me off, like heavily. And I think he gets a lot of that shit wrong. There's a lot of things he gets right. So, I still think he's okay. I think how he handled the Skip Bayless thing, not showing up to work and just saying, oh, Skip was horrible. Skip said this. He didn't man up with that. So he's leaving undisputed. I don't give a fuck. Long story. Wow, what a around the world. Sorry, y'all. I sometimes one question will send me off in a tangent. Thanks a lot, Arturo. Appreciate that. Blake Phillips, and remember, I told you back in the day, I know Deion Sanders. I stress to everyone on the channel that Prime's brand is too big. He will not allow streaming for his brand, and he runs the ship. Okay, I do remember you saying that, and I believe you. Mike Smith, Shannon leaving, probably tired of Skip's sorry ass. There's Curtis D316. CIAing another message. BR7062. And what's up, dude? Appreciate you being here. Dion also wants to recruit Texas. Absolutely. Absolutely. A little easier to do when you're, I don't know, in the Big 12. Blake Phillips, everyone truly think Big 10 is going to immediately invite Oregon, Washington? Call me crazy, but I don't think Big 10 is in a rush to get their conference to 18 or 20. If Colorado, Arizona State leave, those two might come. It's kind of how I feel about it there, Blake. I don't know about immediately inviting Oregon and Washington, but I think, I don't think August is a too soon kind of date to think about that, because they'll get them on the cheap, the super cheap. And they've already had talks. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of things already worked out. What do you think Dion has been wearing the gimme cowboy hat? The gimmick cowboy hat. He's been telling you subtly all year. Well, they got cowboys up there in Colorado, Blake. Come on. It ain't just Texas. I've seen people wear cowboy hats in California. They got FFA stock show shit in Oregon. Oregon! So, I know I got a niece out there. And yeah, her daughter and son, they're very involved. They show like goats and shit. It's pretty cool. I'm like, Oregon, really? They're like, yeah, it's big here. I'm like, oh, damn. So cowboying is everywhere. Purple Haze, what's up, man? So Gonzaga going to join the Big 12. The talk is running hard on it just as much as Colorado. It's up there. It's up there. Gonzaga's going to happen. That's going to happen. And that's another thing with the Karen from Endeavour was talking about was basketball, how heavily undervalued it is. Now she talked about a lot about the women's side of things. She's smarter than me. She's involved. She's saying the women's side of things is undervalued. Women's basketball is undervalued in college. WNBA, oh, I don't know if it's undervalued, but everyone seems to think a lot of these women's sports is undervalued. UFC probably, tennis probably, swimming, yeah. You could probably get a little more money out of the gymnastics. But when she was talking about basketball, specifically men's basketball, the Big 12, yeah, their Endeavor's, juiced up to do some shit. She said some interesting things about, like, you got to have events. And this is the thing, that's what makes football so big. It's once a week. Your team is playing once a week, unless there's a bye week. But one game a week, that's an event, y'all. It's a mini event, but it's still an event. It's a big time thing when your team is playing once a week. It just lends itself to excitement with football. Basketball, not as much because you get multiple games per week. So it's how do you say it? I don't know. I'm having trouble with my dictionary. My brain dictionary, or not dictionary. See, I can't even think of what the. I got some kind of brain disease. I can't think of words. Ray Lewis, son of a bitch. Thank you, Mike Smith. God, how can I? Let me get back up here where I was. Yeah, Gonzaga's going to happen. Let's leave it at that. But yeah, I was excited where she was talking about with men's. That's why I think it's going to happen. That just kind of really tipped something off for me when Karen was talking how undervalued the basketball is with the Big 12. Because Brett Yormark has been saying we got to add brands to this thing. We got to add value to this basketball to pump it up. And yeah, during the regular season, college basketball doesn't really get ratings. That can change. You got to have the hype. How do you have the hype? You have to have a conference with the most big, huge freaking brands. Consolidated into one conference. And maybe have some events. Maybe a tournament in Mexico annually. Things like that. To really get the hype train going. You got to have events so people can look forward to it. And that help to have a nice big tournament in Mexico to gamble on. Shit like that helps. So yeah, there's ways to make it more valuable. So that's one of the things that got me excited listening to Miss Karen. Let's see. Mike Smith, rich ladies are hot. Future sugar mamas. It is nice when a lady makes some money. Curtis D316, making that money off how attractive they are, not because of how athletic they are. Well, that's why you erased a comment, trying to find the proper wording, sir. It is easier for women, especially in some of the track and field and, dare I say, beach volleyball events. It might be a little easier for them to get some sponsors than the big sweaty hairy guy. Yeah, that helps. But you got to be a badass. You got to be at least kind of good. Maybe there's this tennis player, Russian. She never won dick. There was a couple Russian ladies, or somewhere around Russia, One of them did win like Wimbledon once or twice. I don't know. She kind of got cut short because the Williams sisters kept kicking her ass, but she was still really good, a legit champion. But there was this other Anna Kournikova. Damn, I can't believe I thought of something this evening. Like I can't even think of the word evening. Yeah, Anna Kournikova was one of the hottest women ever. Yeah, that was. She had talent though. All right, she was on the tour. She played with all the big timers. She never won anything. She won a few matches. She'd make it interesting. Like, oh, is this hot young thing going to get to the final? Oh no, she's not. She just got smoked. But yeah, she made a fuck ton of money for being hot. That's okay. Hey, if I was hot, I'd be out there shaking my. I'd be on OnlyFans right now. Whoa, who would be paying for that? I just don't have it like that. I don't have that ability. Let's see here. I'm losing where I'm at. Damn it. Purple Haze, is the Big 12 going to be the first perennial super conference of basketball? They're going to be the only super conference of basketball. They're the only ones lined up to do it. I believe I said yesterday, the Big 10 and the SEC, they're not going to do basketball only. They're not. The Big 10 is already a pretty good basketball conference. Are they interested in splitting it off? No. They make an ass ton of money off of football and a little bit of basketball and some of their other sports. They're already making their bread. They don't have to do a whole lot different. So why are you going to try to shake the world and try to go after Big East schools or whatever if you're the Big 10? You're not going to do that. There's just no point. You're good where you are. The SEC is even more rigid. They're not going to do that. If Alabama gets really good at basketball, so be it. Okay, cool. But their money is not, that's just extra to them. Whatever they do in basketball in the SEC, that's just cherry on top. They're not depending, nor are they dependent on any of that. It's literally the icing on the icing of a very, very rich cake, and they don't care. The Big 12 has got to get creative. And what they have that other conferences don't is the ability, because right now they're already the best conference in basketball. They're the only ones that really have the ability and have the huevos to actually do it, to actually add basketball only and grow this thing. Because the other consolidation, they're targeting blue bloods and high level just under blue bloods. Maybe. I mean, we'll see where all that lands. It hadn't happened yet. As far as like Oregon, Washington, Virginia, UNC, those type of teams, we'll see where they go. But Oregon and Washington, that's Big 10. But we'll see about the other ones. But yeah, the basketball though, this conference here, it's going to be the only juggernaut in basketball. It's the only one that can be or wants to be, really. And the only way you can do that, you have to be the best, and then you have to grow that exponentially. And we are in a position to do so. And we got the partners to help us make it happen. Talking money partners. All right. Sonny V. Lewis. Yeah, Ray freaking Lewis. Larry Pilgrim. Bird shit. Oh, come on, Larry. Bird shit. You're a Utah fan, Larry. You ought to be dying to come to the Big 12. I mean, I know the academics schmacademics. Look, are you going to go over there and like, are they going to start showing people filling in whole little dots on Scantrons and shit on ESPN? Are you going to lay down money on that shit? You're not. The juice is in the sports, y'all. That's where the excitement is. we all know the academic side, the research side, and all that. It's more important to humanity. Fine, that can happen. It is happening. It's good. It's happening. We're all going to benefit from it. Yay, 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 hooray! But let's have some fun. You can have fun too. You can walk and chew gum, can't you? I mean, why not have fun in the Big 12? This is going to be a damn fun conference, Larry. Hell of a lot more fun than what you've been doing in the Pac. Wait, I know you won the Pac a couple of times, but you got your ass handed to you in the Rose Bowl 2 years running. Come to the Big 12. Upgrade your competition. I know USC is a hell of a great win. I know Oregon is a hell of a great win. No, I don't have a problem with that. You got some good schools there. You can be proud to beat them. In the Big 12, it's week in and week out. It's week in and week out. So come here and have some fun, Larry. It's a good time to be had. Mike Smith, Robert C. Byrd, there you go, Robert C. Byrd. He was the senator in my state for years. I always voted for whoever was running against him. As a good American should, Mike Smith. Unfortunately, our former president learned everything about the Klan and how to recruit people to the Klan. Probably how to cover up some sexual, not so good stuff, too. Larry Pilgrim, Big 12 Karen represented Hillary. Hope she doesn't get on a private plane. You got to do your job. No one's perfect, Larry. Blake Phillips, how you feeling today, Larry? You think Utah joining Mountain West soon? Oh, look at there. You're riling up Larry's feathers. Donnie, Kwame Brown completely destroyed Shannon Sharpe. I saw that from Mr. Bus Life, Kwame Brown. He does not hold back. Shannon Sharpe, that's the problem. Sometimes he'll run off at the mouth when he doesn't really. And it's always defending someone he likes. He has to try to destroy somebody he likes. He did that with Jim Brown, and he did it to Kwame when Kwame was talking about LeBron. And Shannon Sharpe's like a big LeBron fanboy. I'm like, oh, that's tough to be a fanboy of LeBron. But, that's the problem with being a fanboy. You never look at any of the flaws. You're like, oh, how could there be a flaw? He won championships. I'm like, he could have had more. All Kwame said was, he didn't have a go-to move. And he does it. You look at all those great Hall of Famers that won multiple championships. I mean, the truly great ones. Even Tim Duncan, who everyone forgets, and I hated, I'm a Mavericks fan. I hated Tim Duncan. But that damn, whatever that 10-foot bank shot, God, every time, just bloop, 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 just pissed me off every damn time. 10, 12-foot freaking bank shot, like from the corner. Not even all the way in the corner, kind of like that wing position, but just 10 feet back, bank shot. God, it pissed me off. I'm like, how do you hit it every time? LeBron doesn't have that. Or dunk. Well, everybody in the damn Spud Webb dunked. Shut up. Dunk. It ain't a go-to shot. Blake Phillips, not too bad. Just enjoying my numbskull. Love this guy's channel. I appreciate that. I'm ready for the shitstorm to start or end. Poop's coming. Let's see. Larry seems to agree with that. That's a first. Melvin Darkseas, what's up, dude? The Pac deflated their own balloon. The Big 12 is becoming more relevant rapidly. That's a good way to put that. They are becoming more and more relevant. And the more teams you add to this bitch, the more relevant you get. But it has to be the right teams. I hate to say it, there's certain schools out there like Fresno that add no value. It's not a smart ad. And this is something that Brett Yormark has said from the very beginning. They got to be additive. And it's more ways than just money, but what is your ceiling? That's why I think there's a glimmer of hope for San Diego State, because that's a pretty high ceiling they have. And they are a 12-month a year, unlike the Arizona schools, but all year round, they play in the Pacific time zone for those late night windows. So that does help. And more than just one sport in football, but in all their sports. So that kind of stuff does help you. So there is a little bit of hope. But like I said, it's going to be more complicated. It's going to take more than ESPN and Fox to make that happen, because I don't think they're interested in them coming to the Big 12. I could be wrong. I don't have any inside information. That's just what I'm deducing. But I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Arturo Bolderos, Big 12 related question. Well, maybe this one will be, I won't spend 30 minutes shitting on Shannon Sharpe or anyone else. Who do you think will be the Big 12 big rivalry now that the Red River game is going to the SEC? That is a good question. To tell you the truth, I don't think there'll be just like that one huge rivalry, because you don't really have the brands to make that a super huge rivalry. Like Ohio State versus Michigan, which got like 100 million freaking views on that thing. Which they got NFL numbers on that game. So I think some good ones will come up over the years. If Kansas keeps being good, if Kansas State keeps being good, that could be a damn good rivalry. It's not like there's a lot of love lost there. Oh, it's an interesting question. We'll have to see how things kind of play out. You know what? BYU and Baylor, they kind of rocked the house last year. That's an interesting dynamic. TCU versus Baylor has always been good. But that's kind of cheating. The Texas schools, there's a lot of them, so they play each other. There's natural rivalries there, but I don't know if you'll ever get something like the Red River rivalry again, just to be honest. That is super huge, at least in this area, because it gets played. Well, now I think it gets played in the Cowboy Stadium. So that's always a huge attraction. And probably one of the biggest college rivalries, period, outside of Ohio State and Michigan. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see the likes of that again. But there's a lot of interesting shit. That's the beautiful thing about parity. You're not so reliant on that. It's an old model. Think about the NFL. There are certain rivalries, but it's like division rivalries. And if you got 24 teams one day, you will have divisions or pods. That'll happen. Those are rivalry builders right there. So there's interesting things in the future. It's hard to see it right now. The Big 12, the new Big 12 is in its infancy. We're not going to see where it's going to take probably a good, from right now, 7-8 years maybe, until we get something a little more finalized on what the Big 12 is going to be. Because that's allowing time for the ACC thing to play out too, which I don't think will take 7 or 8 years. I'm just trying to be generous. Big questions from Arturo, making me think. I don't know whether to thank you or hate you. Black Rain. Troy Aikman doesn't like Skip Bayless either because he claims something about Troy. said Troy was a member of the LGBTQ community, which Troy doesn't have a problem with. He just has a problem being called something that he's not. Yeah, he's got no love lost for Skip Bayless. I like Skip to a point. I like him to a point, then he gets really annoying. Blake Phillips, I know I can't wait to watch Utah versus UNLV on Ion. Yeah, that sounds about right. Larry Pilgrim, Oregon and Washington want a grant of rights exit. I thought it's about people that want to be in the Big 12, not about value, according to some people I hear from. Well, if you're hearing from fans, they're, I'm a fan too. I don't know shit, but it is about value, but it is about people wanting to be here as well. And there's certain moves you can make. Let's just say Oregon and Washington can't get into the Big Ten for several years. And you lose Colorado, you lose Arizona. There's only the shitty Apple deal waiting for Oregon and Washington. Why not go to the Big 12 for however long? I'm cool with that. If that helps eliminate the pack, it's a business thing. At that point, I'm like, Big 12 fans shouldn't take it personal that you're not going to get to keep them forever. You're going to have them here. You'll suck out whatever kind of value you can out of them. You'll make some things happen while they're here. And they're going to float away to the Big Ten. Okay. All right. I mean, that's fine. Missouri left at one point. Nebraska left. Colorado left. Arkansas left once upon a time. So, are any of those schools any better for leaving? So, go ahead. We'll use you to nuke the pack, and then you can move on down the line when you have an opening. That's fine. It's kind of a mutual usage. I don't have a problem with that. It's good business. Sonny V. Cowboys in Cal Bakersfield think Buck Owens owned a lot of it back in the day. That is true. And Northern California as well had a huge country following. I know Northern California still has a pretty healthy country following, actually. I don't know as much about Southern SoCal anymore. And you're right about the Buck Owens thing. Blake Phillips, I personally don't want us reaching up to the Pacific West. Pacific West? I prefer the Four Corners. You talk about the Northwest there. I understand that. It gets a little weird with Gonzaga being way the hell up there. But if you get Oregon State, good travel partner, coast to coast, you got to make some sacrifices there, Blake. Blake Phillips, most likely scenario from Larry Pilgrim. Kind of agree. Black Rain, OSU instead of Utah. That could happen, although I think Utah's kind of inevitable. If 2-3 of the Four Corners leave eventually, and then Oregon and Washington leave, Utah's got to do something. I don't think they want to settle for the Mountain West, because that's the only other option. Donnie, if the Big 12 invites Gonzaga for basketball, wouldn't Wichita State fit as well? It depends on where it is. Kansas. And you got the two big dogs from Kansas. Do you need a third? I don't think you do. See, Blake Phillips. I'm wondering, is bringing in the Four Corners will up our value per team? You would think four schools who bring in over 100 million a year athletically would be additive to the 31.7. Well, you wouldn't see anything being added until the next TV contract, because they'll come in on a full share depending on how long it takes. If Utah waits till like next summer or some shit, if they don't come to terms with everything and it's like 2024 before they come, then it may not be a full share. As a matter of fact, if I was your Mark, I'd demand it not be a full share. Anytime after August, I'll give you till August. I'll give you to the end of August. But if we hit Labor Day weekend and your ass still is in the Pac-12, okay, well, when you decide on your little thing, you can have ESPN share because they're obligated, contractually to pay that. But you ain't getting the Fox money. Kiss ass. You can deal with a partial share. That would be my thing. But as far as raising the value, you won't, like I said, you wouldn't see that till 2031 or whenever the new extension after the new extension happens. Black Rain, Larry Pilgrim, #1 crybaby on YouTube. Come on, Larry's not bad. He's not a bad guy. He just loves his team and his conference really hard. I am not sure how much they bring in value at Blakeville Phillips. Well, let's break it down. For the next couple of years, Colorado brings value. A lot of that has to do with Coach Prime. It's one of the things I actually do disagree with Barry Trammell. He didn't think I don't think Prime's going to be there for 20 years. But he seems to think, if he's like not successful, like in 2 years, he'll be gone. They're not going to fire him. They'll let him play out that contract. As far as if he does well, then he'll just automatically leave. I don't know. Everyone seems to think it's a 2-3 year deal. I really don't. I think he's going to be there for, I'm not saying forever, but anything. I don't know what his contract. Maybe one of y'all know how many years Coach Prime signed for, but so whatever I doubt it's a 3-year contract. It's probably at least a 5, maybe a 6. I think he'll pretty much live out that contract. That's what I think. So Prime will give you some value, at least up front with Colorado, but then I think it's a sleeping giant. I think Colorado is going to be very valuable in the near future. Even right now, it has more value than it did in 2022. Arizona, huge ad for basketball. Huge ad for basketball. Already a massive brand, and then you add it to this collection of brands. That helps you in the 2031 contract, so there's value there. Gonzaga helps you with that as well. ASU haven't been crap in football for a while, but bring them in the Big 12. They can be competitive. They can get there. Basketball, they're pretty good at basketball. They're not, they're not Utah. Utah. They're not. They're a respectable basketball school. How about that? They're good. So there's some value there. You got to look at the massive alumni base Arizona has too. That has value. Utah, they have a lot of unrealized value nationally because the football program is really good. It's really solid, and you can really. I think they can tap into the unrealized value they have in the Big 12 more than they could in the Pac. That's what I believe. They can become a way bigger brand than they are now. So by the time you get to 2031, these things pop off and happen. Basketball is increased, football increased in value. So yeah, there's pretty good value there. It's future value though. You know, Oregon and Washington, let's say you add them for 3 or 4 years, 5 years, whatever, until they go to the Big Ten. Well, that's instant value. That's instant value. There's a difference between those two. Let's see here. Blake Phillips, Arizona State brings in like 120 million. Arizona brings in roughly the same, tiny bit less. Colorado and Utah bring in around 90 million. Well, that's why they're getting full shares there, Blake. Donnie, women's water polo. That's a nice sport to watch. Depends on the outfits. Larry Pilgrim, those respectable numbers. Black Rain, not wanting Utah is an insult. Wow, so sensitive. I think if not for how some of the fan stuff's been there, Black Rain, I think you would want Utah. But I get the animus. Blake Phillips, yeah, they are respectable. They are on par with West Virginia and Kansas. Larry Pilgrim at Blake. That almost looked like you said wet vagina. Man, now you're getting in on it. All right. Blake Phillips noticed that too. Good scene. Like Rain and Larry Pilgrim. You talk down to BYU fans and Big 12 fans because we don't bow down to Utah. Sorry, the Big 12 bow down to no one. That's true. But I think you got, Larry gets his feathers ruffled and he'll go at it. But, come on, Black Rain. Larry Pilgrim's all right. He's all right. He hadn't really crossed me like a lot of other people, so. From what I understand, maybe. Blake Phillips, would be amazing if the Four Corner schools came and gave us a bump like $35 million per team. I figure the border war and the Arizona State rivalry, and then the Arizona versus Kansas and Dion bump. I'm not sure how all that would work out. Like I said, I don't know if you'll get this. The conference overall will get a bump, but that money just goes to paying those schools. So anything else, I'm not sure of there, Blake. Larry Pilgrim talking to Black Rain, trying to explain himself. I don't talk down to people without being provoked. Oh, Black Rain ain't hearing it. Come on now, Black Rain. You're all right. Larry's all right. We're all right. Larry Pilgrim. Numbskull. Bird shit was a reference to Senator Byrd. Oh. Then I agree with that one. Blake Phillips. Larry is loyal to the Pac-12, which is admirable. He's beginning to escape denial and see the light. Oh, BR7062. Larry's coming around slowly, just a smidge, maybe a smidge. Blake Phillips, the Big 12 is essentially SEC light. We in Big 12 country and passionate and really care about our schools. Pac-12 doesn't have shit on us. No, they don't. We welcome more good programs. Just don't talk down on us. There we go. I think you said it well there. I don't know about SEC light. I really don't. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but our first and best, I don't know. We're always talking football because we all love the football. But really, it's a basketball conference. That's what we're absolutely best at. But it says something that we can have a team get to the championship game in football. So we're a pretty damn good football conference, too. We're kind of a double whammy, y'all. We're that Double Whataburger with jalapenos, bitch. That's what we are. AAR. What's up, dude? We are welcome to the Big 12 Conference. Oh, sorry. All are welcome to the Big 12 Conference. Risen from the ashes. Larry's okay. See, Larry Pilgrim. I've just been following everything like everyone as we go. Never had illusions. Hope, yes, but not blind. True. Well, Black Brain is going to have a hard time being convinced. All right. Donnie, if the original Big 12 had invited Utah and BYU into the conference to go to 14, I'm sure Utah would have been happy to join the Big 12 then. Well, yeah, you had Texas, you had OU, maybe a few others. Good point there, Donnie. Mike Smith, Larry just defending his team in conference. If they join the Big 12, he will become a fan eventually. Larry Pilgrim, Donnie's correct. Larry Pilgrim, Mike Smith, wisdom. Let's see. Mike Smith, many fans will belittle other teams and conferences in order to defend their own. Just the fandom goes. This how just how the fandom goes sometimes. I'll add a word in there. BR7062, Larry is like his school, fearlessly loyal. If they join the Big 12, he and the school will be just as loyal to the Big 12. Well, I should hope so, Larry. I better see you out there with a Big 12 flag flying that shit around, telling the ACC to go suck your pecker. That's what I need to see. Blake Phillips, winning cures everything. All Big 12 needs to do is get a couple more teams in the playoffs. And with 12 teams in the playoff, it's going to be easier. Now, basketball, we're balls deep in the tournament every year. In the tournament every year. Got a whole gang of people up in there. And do damage. Get a couple more teams to the Final Four. In basketball, well, that's going to happen. And we become popular to young new fans. And young new fans in Mexico, baby. Black Rain, I don't have to want Utah, whether he likes it or not. No, you don't have to. If you just don't like the school and you don't see the value there, Black Rain, you're more than happy to, shit on them. That's fine. But if they come, I hope you support them. Michael Presler, what's the deal on the X-Men kick? It's the X-Men, buddy. Come on. It's the greatest comic ever. Ever. Historical and allegory is beautiful. The storylines are great. That's the problem. I don't like DC that much. I just don't. If you ever paid attention, whenever they get in trouble, they have another power that shoots out of their ass. So they grow all of a sudden they're stronger, they're faster. That's shitty, weak writing. X-Men, no, they can be killed, man. The Hulk only gets so pissed off and for so long before he shrinks down to little nothing Bruce Banner again. Wolverine, he's a total badass till Magneto is like, nope, I control your skeleton, buddy. Fuck off. It's stuff like that that's great. Wolverine didn't just all of a sudden throw in, I don't know. Now he's able to shoot stuff out of it. That's that kind of thing. I'm not going to bore everyone to tears with more shit. X-Men's badass. I need to see the movies. The MCU version. Curtis D316, if Utah gets in the Big 12, it could be the Holy War. True. There's a lot of great matchups for Utah. Dude, Utah and TCU all day long. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Some Mountain West action right in the middle of the Big 12. Mike Smith would like to see the Holy War rivalry in the Big 12 if Utah joins. I would like Pitt to join so West Virginia can have their old rivalry as well. The backyard brawl. The backyard brawl. Gold and Blue Dude pissed me off one time talking about the damn backyard brawl. It's like he said backyard brawl like 30 times in a video. That man was a die-hard son of a bitch for West Virginia. Rest in peace. But, long story short, I started to like the guy. And you know what? I miss Gold and Blue. I miss the man. Let's see, Larry Pilgrim. That is correct. We have been in a conference with 3 fan bases. Rather sad, actually. Sonny V. RR shootout always in the Cotton Bowl during the state fair. It used to be Sonny V. I don't think it's played in the Cotton Bowl anymore. I think they moved to the Jerry World. Yeah, and Larry, let me touch on that again. We have been in a conference with 3 fan bases. Rather sad, actually. You're kind of right about that, Larry. Utah's got a passionate fan base. Oregon's got a great fan base. USC's got a great fan base. I mean, does anyone hear from Washington fans ever? UCLA fans ever? It's kind of crickets, Kind of crickets. Kind of sad. Colorado has a massive fan base. They just haven't had a reason to get out and get the pom-poms out. The reason is there now. It is there now. AAR, Pac-12 dog days. I would advise Pac fans to start banging at Pac-12 conference headquarters fast. Well, unfortunately, they overspent for those over there in San Francisco. And you're going to have that, if you're going to get there, you're going to have that map that shows you where all the human shit is on the sidewalks. You don't get your shoes dirty. Clint Moses, what's up, dude? Kansas versus Kansas State is last rivalry after everyone left. Well, it's the last old rivalry. Is it really the last? I mean, TCU and Baylor has been a pretty good little rivalry there. Texas Tech versus everybody. No, man, like this sucker here is going to continue to grow, and you're going to get new rivalries. And I think eventually, as I've said before, 24 is the floor. You're gonna get pods. You're gonna get coast to coast pods, and those pods are going to be like divisions in the NFL. It's going to be like Cowboys versus Eagles, Cowboys versus Giants, Cowboys versus formerly Redskin. It's going to be good. And notice it's always Cowboys versus, right? Does anyone care about New York versus Philly? No. Everyone wants the Cowboys. Come on. James Smith, what's up? You're exactly right. No ass kissing. There you go. BR7062 Numbskull Red River is still played on Cotton Bowl, and they announced today that it will be in 2024 also. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I thought they'd moved it though. All right, you could be. Shit, that throws me off. What did they move there? They moved something to the. They moved some. They've been talking about moving the whole damn. The whole damn Texas State Fair, because that's the whole thing with the Red River rivalry. It happens in the middle of the tail end of the State Fair. Big deal around here, anyway. Yeah, I thought they've been trying to get all that shit moved to Arlington, from what I understood. Okay. Sunny V Cotton Bowl Classic game was moved to Jerry World years ago. That's okay. The Cotton Bowl, the actual bowl game was moved. Gotcha. That's probably where I screwed that up. All right. Mike Smith, West Virginia versus Baylor. Seem whoever plays at home wins the game. Well, yeah. This time anyway. Let's see here. AAR, you gotta light a fire. We did and woke up Big 12 conference headquarters. Their asses got busy. See, Michael Presler, screw Utah. Had a JUCO before them. Oh, Dion has yet to do anything he was bad at. That's a confusing sentence there, Michael Presley. Dion has yet to do anything he was bad at. I'm gonna take that as a positive Deion Sanders comment there. Charles M. Damn, I'm an hour late. Yes, you are, Charles M. What did I miss? Everything. Oh, not much, Mr. Charles. We're just kind of screwing around. Larry Pilgrim at Connor Johnson. I got confirmation Oregon and Washington have been tanking the media deals. Tanking the media deals. Ooh. Well, when you're talking to the Big Ten and you are not signing a grant of rights to stay in the pack because you know you can get into the Big Ten probably this summer, there you go. Oh, and one of them's on the executive committee? Say it isn't so! Michael Presler, as long as Lubbock Community College is in the Big 12, they won't be anywhere near the SEC. Lubbock Community College sounds like a fun place to go. If you're talking about Texas Tech, sir, that's a damn good school. And we're right next door to the SEC. Hell, UT's SEC, A&M's SEC. Right next door to Louisiana. Come on. And Arkansas. Blake Phillips, were you a fan, I guess, of the Harry Potter franchise, Numbskull? I liked the first movie. They kind of got subsequently tired after that. Kind of lost its luster. But the first movie was stunningly brilliant. Loved the first movie. Seen it probably 20 times. Black Rain at Numbskull. I responded because he called me out because I said no Utah. If he called me out, I'm coming out when he does. All right, Black Rain. I'm not kicking you off the channel or anything, damn it. Just saying, I think, Larry's a little sensitive when it comes to Utah. That's fine. But I've seen a lot shittier people talk about Utah than Larry. Charles M. UConn will be football too. It would be. And that's one of the things you missed there about UConn. It may not be till maybe next, because the Big East, because their basketball's in the Big East. And the Big East, their contract comes up in a couple of years. So that would make it 2026. So I think you'll probably see movement as far as Big East schools or real, substantive talks. Probably not till next summer. That includes UConn there, Charles. That's what I'm guessing. Didn't hear it from nobody. No one of any substance reported that. That's what I'm guessing. James Smith, is Big Ten really athletically better than the Big 12? Ooh. No, they're not. No, they're not. Now, on paper, there's several programs that out-recruit everybody in the Big 12. Like, with USC included, maybe three, possibly four, once in a while, 4 teams that out-recruit us. But what does that mean? I mean, Michigan's one of those. How did they fare? They never led in that game. That's how they fare. Very good point, Mr. James Smith. Love that. I know it was a question, but I'm taking it as a point. Paul Lupke, what's up, dude? At James Smith, no, Big Ten put on an unsolicited clinic on horrible football last season and got rewarded with the most lucrative media deal in college sports history and the most lucrative media deal in college sports history that they cannot figure out how to get finalized. And they only got a couple more months to get it done, Paul. But good points. Rowdy Every Point. That's an interesting name. Rowdy. Piper, Rowdy Piper, or Rousey. UConn not a definite. It has a lot to do with what happens to Pac-12. Well, I don't think UConn and Pac-12 have nothing to do with each other there, Mr. Rowdy. That'll depend on if the Big 12 has the stomach to add other Big East schools to get UConn in. I think if they do that, they're in. I know people are saying, well, they just joined and blah, 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 blah. Money talks. Money. Charles M., of course they are, Larry. A, they want to go to Big Ten, but Big Ten doesn't want to destroy Pac-12. They want failure first because of they stay. They want 3-4 corners out to bring the unequal revenue with ads. That's a lot there, Charles M. Larry Pilgrim. They are driving the second knife in the conference. True. Well, the Big 12 is trying to drive a second knife. The big knife, that was Big 10. James Smith, it's big too, but not really. Yeah, it's Big 3. Secret Agent, what's up, dude? Larry, you're going to like the Big 12 better anyway. Charles M. One should have expected that. It's in their best interest not to sign a grant of rights and to run off Colorado State, Arizona State at the minimum. True. Big 12 can compete with Big 10. It can and will. Rowdy, Virginia Tech, Louisville, and Pitt would pair perfectly with Cincinnati, West Virginia. Absolutely. That's kind of what I think there. Charles M. Sorry, I'm starting to read these a little fast. I know I'm kind of a little bit behind. And it's almost 11 o'clock Central Time. Someone's got to get to bed eventually, so I'm about to have to sign off. So I'm trying to read everyone's shit. I'm grateful everyone's here. I just want to try to read off everyone's stuff. Give you a little dance as I do it. Let's see here. Charles M. Larry, Big 12 is made for Utah, and Utah is made for the Big 12. It's a perfect match. Really is. Yes. I like that. Charles M. At Rowdy, you are right. Same with Syracuse, too. You always got to add that shit, Charles, damn you. I don't know. You say that, I'm a proponent of a complete merger with the ACC once they lose schools to the Big Ten and SEC. After that happens, we take the rest because I think we can make something. I think we can make a chicken salad out of that chicken shit. That's what I think. Paul Lupke. I would argue the Big 12 is the best basketball conference and second best football conference. You can make a point of that. Big 10 just always has large enrollment and alumni numbers. Marketing can level the field these days, though. True. That's damn good. Paul Lupke, I hope you're subscribed. I like you, son. You got a purty mouth, Paul. Secret Agent, haven't heard one from Washington, Wazoo, Stanford, Cal, or Arizona State fan. No, haven't. Larry Pilgrim, Secret Agent, I love my Utes and respect the Big 12. I won't have an issue, and it may be a good move. I know it could be beneficial for my team, and I believe Utah would be good for the Big 12. There we go, Larry. Rowdy. Kansas and Kansas State is not even a top 20 CFB rivalry. Probably not. Like I said, if Kansas continues on this trajectory, if I'm saying that correct, I'm horrible with English. My Spanish is worse. If they continue on this path with a good head coach, that could be, it's a rivalry they can build. That's what I'm saying. Larry Pilgrim, Charles M. All right. AAR. San Diego State is on the clock. Tick tock, tick tock. For who? No, I think the Pack is on the clock there. San Diego on the clock kind of denounce like something's going to happen, or they have a choice to make, maybe, and I don't think there's a choice for San Diego State. It's kind of not up to them. It's going to come down to the Big 12. Are they willing to kind of bend over backwards a little bit and drag in Amazon to get your ass or not? Because Pack is screwed. Now, let's see here. Rowdy. Sadly, Syracuse and Boston College will end up in the Big East or the American if ACC implodes. Like I said, Rowdy, the best way for all that shit to play out is the teams that can go, your Clemsons and your Florida States and whatnot, whatever teams can get into the two biggest conferences, they go, and then there's a merger between what's left and the Big 12. That could happen, and I think those schools would absolutely be a proponent of that. And the president of North Carolina even said that very idea himself once upon a time. Secret agent at Larry Pilgrim. The fan support and parity in the Big 12 will be a welcome thing. Change for you. There we go. Louis Bowles, what's up, dude? So ready for football to start. It's always a good time for football to start. Always a good time. But, as much as I hate to say it, the absence makes the heart grow fonder, correct? So it's a good thing. That's the problem with baseball. It never ends. And some way, basketball, we're just getting to the finals. That shit started in October. Or was it before that? No, it's October. Started in October, talking about the NBA. I'm like, my Mavericks aren't in the playoffs, so I don't give a shit. Give a shit! Hope Miami gets fucked up. That's what I hope. Even though the dude, the main guy there with Miami, I like him. I like him a lot. Can't think of his name. I wouldn't mind it if he won a title. I just don't like Miami. They beat the Mavericks in 2006 with some bullshit. Dwayne Wade. Overrated punk. All right. Larry Pilgrim, so you're exactly. Rowdy. I won't pay for Apple TV to watch Pac-12 games. Well, who the hell is going to do that? And a lot of people feel the same. I will be happy watching Mountain West instead. Well, you don't have to have an Apple subscription, sir, to watch the Mountain West. It's right there at the ready. Sonny V, these boys got to find their thick skin, just like Golden Blue Dude used to proclaim. Miss that guy too. He did have some thick ass skin. I don't have as much thick skin. Usually when you talk shit to me, I'm just going to go ahead and kick you in the nuts. It's not the right way. Golden Blue Dude had it more the right way. It's one of my failings. Mr. L, good stuff. See you Sunday. I appreciate you being here, Mr. L. James Smith. SEC is king only because 4 stars are riding the bitch for money. Well, believe it or not, a lot of those guys, they can't stockpile guys like they used to be able to stockpile them. Here's the thing. All right, as far as like Georgia and Alabama, I mean, every year it's new recruits coming in that bitch. Every year, year after freaking year, and transfers too. But they lose their fair share of people going out of those programs, going out of different SEC programs, because kids don't want to wait. Kids don't want to wait. They get a little tired of it. So there's that. Rowdy, Oklahoma is the next Nebraska once they get to the SEC. Venables doesn't have a long-term future in the Norman. Not with results like that. They still made a bowl game, but they're used to winning the Big 12 like year after year, or at least being close to it. Yeah, that was a bad showing. Will they be that's pretty harsh, the next Nebraska. I don't know. I don't know. I just they can have some success in the SEC. You know, Georgia is not always going to be that good, and they'll have their years they're not as good. Oklahoma is not going to be that bad every year, whether that's with Venables or they may need a different coach. Same thing with Texas. I ain't sold on their freaking. Everyone seems to think, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy. I'm like, really? That's the guy? That's the guy. Because I ain't seen Dick. I mean, they're not. Texas is a good team. They had a decent year last year. Did they win the conference? Were they in the conference title game? No. So, I don't know. I still think Oklahoma could be a little better than Nebraska. I really don't understand Nebraska. Uh, who was it? Who was it? Who was it? Like, I think it was James Smith, maybe. Uh, but yeah, the Big Ten is just it's a lot of hype. They're not that good at football. It's not the SEC up there. There's no reason for Nebraska to suck balls for this long. It's ridiculous. So I guess it could happen. I don't know. Let's see. Curtis D316 still say Thursday is when things get announced. You could be right. Stay tuned tomorrow. You know what? If something pops off tomorrow, I'm going to have to come on here live. Whenever that happens, I'm sure YouTube, there'll be like a big bump. People going live, like everyone at the same time. But yeah, and I will be one of them. I'll be going live, even if it's on my damn phone. I'll figure out something. Charles M, Golden Blue dude. Yep. James Smith, North Carolina thinks they are a blue blood. Yeah, they do. Basketball, yes. Football. What are you in football? I mean, a little better than Kansas has been in football. They haven't been shitty shit. Some years, yeah. Some years they've been really bad, but they've had some decent years too. So what is UNC in football? I'm trying to think of a good team to kind of compare them to. I don't know. It's not coming to me. Not coming to me. They're kind of right there with NC State. It's not that far off from NC State. What is NC State? Are they like some juggernaut in football? No. They're kind of the middle of the road. They're mid. That's okay. See, Sunny V. Hit the thumbs up. Get numbskull some algorithm. Well, that's all right, Sunny V. I appreciate that. But I'm about to bounce anyway. Charles M. TH is tomorrow. TH. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Donnie, the outlaw of college football, seems to think that Oklahoma will do well in the SEC. He's been hyping them up. They could do okay. Like I said, I don't think it's out of. Both Texas and Oklahoma are gonna get their share of L's the first couple of seasons there in the SEC. But Oklahoma and Texas both, they recruit. They recruit. It's about coaching. In college football, you better have the guy. You better have the guy with the clipboard and the little headset. You ain't got that guy. I mean, I can show you example after example after example after example. When a team finds that head coach, boom. All of a sudden, they're doing shit that no one thought they could do. Look at TCU. 1 year with Sonny Dykes. One. And they're in a fucking championship game. Not Big 12 champion. They were in that too. The national, the natty. How in the fuck did that, dude? That was so huge. That was monster. One coaching change. And Peterson was good. Peterson was really good. But, he's there for a long time. Kind of lost the luster. They moved on. Sonny Dykes came in and boom. It's insane. But, like I said, with Oklahoma and Texas both, I'm just not sold on their head coaches. So once they will eventually, Texas, I don't know how, he got through like 12 head coaches since Mac Brown. Damn. Whenever they eventually find their guy, they'll blow up a little bit. Even in the SEC. Clint Moses, Numbskull OSU Beavers season prediction. The Beavers season prediction. You know what I would love? I would love to see them win that damn conference. The last Pac-12 conference. The last Pac-12 conference season. It'd be awesome if the Beavers pulled that off. Will they? I don't know. They were a good team last year. Usually a pretty good team. USC is going to be a son of a bitch next year. And I know Utah fans, hey, we won the conference twice in a row. It's hard to do it. It's hard to three-peat. It's hard to three-peat. So, they should play Utah next year. I'll tell you what. If they play Utah, I got Oregon State beating Utah. I would like to see them in the conference game. Damn. I don't know. Let's say over under 9.5. 9.5. That's what I'll say about the Beavers next season. Curtis D316, he means Thursday. Okay. Well, I don't know acronyms, sir, except for N, F, and L. Mike Smith, sometimes it burns when I pee. What does it mean? Well, it probably means you're going to hell. Charles MBD. Yeah. Call a doctor. I'm not some dirty hoe. You told Mike to be a dirty hoe. I'm a dirty hoe, but it's just with the wife. Clint Moses. You got them doing some damage. Well, you know what? I'm pulling for Oregon State next year in the last Pac-12, full Pac-12 in all its glory season. Rowdy, Clemson has more wins in CFP than Big 12 and Pac-12 combined. Clemson, yeah. They had this. Why do you think they're a blue blood now? I mean, they had this awesome period. I mean, what, they go 2 years undefeated? Is that what it was? and back-to-back championships. And they played for one or two others. Just right off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. But it was one hell of a run. And they're still kind of on it. They're still really good. So, okay. You might want to see if they had more in that time period than the Big Ten. I bet they did. Mike Smith, Larry Pilgrim. That is true. Look at there, respect flowing around, and more emojis from Clint. More what the? All right, Donnie. BYU was basically the Pac-12 champion one of those years. They dominated the Pac-12 South, especially Utah. Mike Smith, hard not to like Oregon State. Just seems like a lunch pail type of school. Yep. They bring their lunch pails, wear their hard hats. Got a lot of heart. Whatever else you want to throw out at them. All right, Mike, you'll do it for this evening. Say bye to y'all. I'll try to throw out a little video. I'm going to throw, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. They'll just try to, Before the Sunday live stream, I will have a damn video out. Thursday, TH, Friday, maybe Saturday. Who knows? But it'll be out. Edited, put up. No graphics, no spin, no jack shit. Just a whole lot of this gray hair talking bullshit. Thanks for being here. See you later. Bye. Thank you, Mike. Such a sweet bastard. Bye again. I don't know if that's enough time.